Australia's Kimberley coast is famous for its king tides. Tidal movements can reach up to 9 metres, and that creates a very special phenomena that we're about to experience on this episode of TravelOz. Hello, I'm Grainger. The king tides of the Kimberley have created an immense flow in one canyon known as the Horizontal Waterfalls. We're going to power through these surging waters in a jet boat and meet some very friendly sharks. Also in this episode, the two Tims take us to Corumba on the Gulf of Carpentaria. Vet Dr. Sally Debney experiences the bird life and diving sensations of Lord Howe Island. And we return to the wildlife of Kangaroo Island. Imagine a king tide where the waters move 4 times my height. Well, we're about to experience that in a flight by seaplane from Broome up the Kimberley coast to the Horizontal Waterfalls. From Broome Airport, we're heading north up the coast. At first, there's sandy beach after sandy beach. That gives way to sandstone cliffs, the signature shoreline for the Kimberley coast ahead. Out to sea, I spot plenty of activity. Heading inland, away from the coast, we cross into the Buccaneer archipelago, studded with hundreds of delightful islands. And then the first signs of the massive tidal movements up here. The bay is full of whitecaps as millions of tonnes of water surge across the sandflats. Next, our target, the Horizontal Waterfalls. A huge volume of water has been trapped by the incoming tide. And now, with the falling tide, the water has begun to surge through 2 narrow channels. We'll be riding those waves shortly. Time now, though, to touch down deep in Talbot Bay. We'll taxi right up to a big houseboat where they're cooking freshly caught barramundi. In the waters around the houseboat swim some very large but seemingly friendly sharks. They're known as tawny sharks, although Adrian Thomas, feeding them today, calls them sleepy sharks. Tame as dogs.
Tame as dogs. We're not allowed to have dogs out here, so we're going to have pet sharks. They got very small mouths as well compared to other sharks. I mean, you know, for a shark that's 3.5 metres long, they got a tiny little mouth on them.
So you can manhandle these sharks, eh?
Just gently, you don't want to hurt them. Yeah.
And these are obviously regulars.
Regulars.
Then it's into our high-powered jet boat and off to the Horizontal Waterfalls. At first, the trip is scenic and peaceful enough. Giant sandstone bluffs of the McClarty Ranges tower above us. The real adventure lies ahead. We're about to pass through twin gaps where massive tidal movements have created a waterfall effect as water banks up against one side of the narrow cliff passage. Then, the first sign of some surging water. That's banked up in a bay behind the 2 channels in the incoming tide. Adrian is our skipper today, and he plans to run through these channels a number of times.
Got the wide gap there that was 22 metres wide and 45 metres deep. And that one pushes up to 1 million litres of water through it in just a bit over a second. And on a big day, that can have up to about a 6-foot height difference.
The smaller gap is where the water really rushes through.
This one here sort of push the boundary sometimes because it's custom built just for it. But even still, you've got to draw a line to what's safe and what's dangerous. You never, risk anybody's safety. I mean, what I've had to do in case of an emergency and what the boat's capable of, I've been through there on some pretty big tides. Today was just a perfect level. Good fun.
Fun indeed, Adrian. A thrilling way to experience the king tides of the Kimberley.